Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. Today we'll talk about Akashic records. I will also share with you 4 steps you can enter Akashic records and receive answers, guidance, ideas, downloads, understandings why certain energy themes are present in your life right now, how they are attaching you to a certain past or past life, and also understanding how to heal them, change them, so this kind of events and scenarios can stop happening because you've now ascended your frequency until a new level that's maybe more harmonized and balanced. But firstly, what are Akashic records? The Akashic records can be understood as the informational field that surrounds and permeates everything in existence. In spirituality, we describe it as the library of the soul. In science, it parallels what physics call the quantum field or the zero-point field, which is a field of pure information. So every experience, every thought, every choice and emotional imprint you've ever had creates a kind of energetic pattern. That pattern doesn't disappear. It becomes stored in a non-physical field, the same way data is stored on a cloud server. And therefore the Akashic records are like your soul's cloud storage that contains past life patterns, current life lessons, subconscious programs, future potentials, not fixed outcomes of course, but probabilities based by how you think and how you're living right now, and core soul intentions. So according to the present frequency you're in right now, you're drawing from a certain past life where you've been in a similar frequency you are right now. And from there, you're drawing similar lessons, similar events, similar energy themes. In other words, if we truly simplify it, it may mean that in this life, you may be drawn in very similar endeavors than you've been in the certain past life when you've been in a similar frequency and energy than you are right now. And in the past, when I've been making this video, so just to explain it even more, I often receive messages from parents when they said, you know, I have a daughter and when she was very little, one day she just sat behind a piano and she started playing a very complex song without any training. And it's a proof that we carry a memory within ourselves, many memories, that have no logical explanation. It's just a certain skill or a pattern that we've developed in a certain other lifetime. For some of you it may sound strange, but if we go into ancient mystical traditions, it was very normal to understand these things. It's only strange in this time, even though more and more people are waking up to this understanding that beyond the physical dimension, there's a quantum dimension. There's actually many different dimensions where time doesn't exist. It's all about energy, frequency, and information. When you tap into a certain information and you tune into it emotionally, you're now redirecting yourself towards a completely different outcome. So, how the Akashic records work? Everything is vibration plus information. In quantum physics, it shows that everything, matter, emotions, thoughts, is basically energy carrying information. Physicist David Bohm called this the implicate order. a deeper hidden layer of reality where all information is stored. The Akashic field is described as the same way in mystical traditions, we may say, an intelligent field that remembers. Your consciousness acts like a receiver. Just like a radio that tunes into specific frequencies, your consciousness can tune into the Akashic field. So it means that you're not traveling somewhere when you want to get a memory or a download or an idea. You don't travel anywhere. You just slow down your brainwave frequency. You shift into what science calls theta brainwave state that lets you receive more subtle information from the field. And it actually feels sometimes like you're traveling because you start to see a vision, or you may even experience a sense of traveling through a tunnel of light, and you start to get memories and ideas and visions from maybe being in a different body, being in a different time, and so on. But actually it's all happening right now in your mind. Information is not stored in time the way humans store time. It's way more quantum. In the Akashic field, time is not linear. From a quantum perspective, past, present, and future exist as simultaneous possibilities. Your consciousness collapses one possibility into reality through focus and intention. All timelines leave behind informational traces. That's how, if you don't understand why your life is the way it is right now, just look into the past and you will be able to form a bigger picture. Many people that are on a spiritual journey or on a journey of being a spiritual teacher or being a mystic, if they go into their past lives, they may realize they've been doing that before, and in this life they're actually healing the wound of being killed for that in the past. Many teachers have experienced that. That can also explain why we feel so drawn into certain fields, why we feel so attracted towards certain skills. And then if we truly start doing it, we notice that we can learn very, very fast. Because we are not truly learning, we are remembering. We've been doing it before. So how past and future are intertwined to make a bigger or deeper understanding of what I've just mentioned. The past influences the present. We know that. That part is very obvious to all of us. Your childhood shapes your psychology and behavior. And the present influences future probabilities. Every choice you make now shifts the possible outcomes of your future. Quantum physicist Erwin Schrödinger described the future as a field of probabilities waiting for observation or choice. That's why visualization is very powerful, because you are choosing a probability, and longer you observe it, more you feel it, more you get into the details of it, more chances there are for it to happen, for it to manifest, to materialize, to slow down the frequency of that vision into a material realization of it. The future also influences the present. That is the interesting part here. This part seems impossible to some of you, but it's scientifically supported. Experiments in quantum retrocausality by Yakir Akhronov in 1960s show that future events can influence present outcomes at the quantum level. In simpler terms, your future self already exists as a probability structure in the quantum field. Its information can leak backward into your present as intuition, inner pull, destiny, or deja vu. That's why I often say to you to do today what your future self will be proud of in the future. To always make sure that you live today the way that you will be happy and grateful for the choices you've made today in the future, because your future self already exists. There's many different future versions of you, and they all depend of what you do right now. The Akashic field stores these probabilities the same way it stores memories. That's why sometimes you may feel guided, especially if you know exactly where you want to be in the future. In the present moment, more you're clear on where you want to go, more you will feel guided towards it, towards that outcome. Books will find you, information will find you, guidance will find you, intuitive pulls will find you. You will feel pulled to certain decision. You sense a future timeline before it happens. You have a knowing that arrives with no logical reason. This happens all the time. Like 2 weeks ago, I had a deep feeling that my mother will call me. I had no idea why. Like, I just knew my mother will call me. And the next day my mother calls me and she says, hey, we're going into, the direction where we live, because they had something to do here around, and we can come to visit you. And I said, great, I knew you will come. We sense things because in the field, all these probable versions of reality are already present. And when we tune with our frequency to a certain probability, it may happen. So if we put everything together, the Akashic records are an intelligent informational field. They contain the memories and potentials of your soul. It's not limited by time. It's responsive to your intention, and it's accessible through non-ordinary states of awareness. That's why if we're in a normal beta brainwave frequency, which is a state we're in most of the time through our days, when we're organizing our lives, taking care of our tasks, taking action, reacting to events, and so on, we are not truly perceptive of this wider range of what is here. But if we slow down our breathing, our brainwaves, we get access to these deeper states of consciousness and information. Later I will share with you steps you can enter the Akashic records. So how it works? Your soul emits energetic patterns. The quantum field stores them. Your intuition retrieves them when you enter the right state. Your mind interprets them as images, feelings, insights, or clarity. And through our lives, if we decide to strengthen our senses for recognizing visions and feelings and insights and clarity, we can gain a deeper access to it, and we can awaken more memories of it, and therefore we can become wiser because we have more access to information, and therefore we trust more. We know that in life everything is connected, so we're less afraid because we know that at the right time the right information will find us, the right guidance will appear, the right insight will come. So our lives become way more, let's say, guided. And why past and future are intertwined? Because in the quantum field, past is what we call stored information. Future is stored probabilities. Both interact with the present moment, and your consciousness can access all of it. So in the present moment, for your consciousness, past and the future is almost the same. Past is something you've experienced, future is something you might experience. But if you think about the past or the future, for the present moment, for your body, it's the same. You will experience chemistry through emotions. You will think same thoughts of the past or the future. It's just your choice. The memories that are most emotional will be also most fundamental for you in this time right now. And their energy themes will be occurring in your present time to create greater balance in those areas of your life. In more Tibetan teachings, they would say karmic loops, because something that caused a certain disturbance in the past created an out of balance energy, chaotic energy. And whatever is generating chaotic signal in our bodies, whatever source is causing that chaotic signal, which we often feel as chaos and stress and negative emotions, it will be manifesting in our lives for one specific reason: to find balance with it. And therefore, if we have one chaotic relationship in our lives and it is disturbing us quite deeply, doesn't matter if we end that relationship and we start a new one. In that new relationship, the same pattern will reappear because it's causing a disturbance, because there's a lack of understanding why it is happening. Whatever we have a lack of understanding with, it will be appearing when we are ready to resolve it. So when we are going through something that is chaotic, it means we are ready to evolve beyond it. And we can only evolve beyond something we are willing to go through it, not avoiding it, going through it, facing it, understanding the pattern, understanding the emotional reaction to it, and what kind of belief is behind it, so we are reacting to it the way we do. That's why it may be very helpful if sometimes we go into these deeper states of consciousness, because we cannot just understand. Like so many times I had these meditative experiences where on the surface level in my daily life I could not understand why something happened. Then I went into these meditative states and it just made sense, and I've experienced incredible release and almost like deep love for that experience, like love for my past that hurt me. And then all of a sudden I changed my behavior in my present life completely. I said, oh, I've learned a lesson. I will not repeat these same patterns anymore. I will be maybe more honest. I will be more open, or whatever it was. So the Akashic records are the interface where these timelines meet. It's not about predicting your future. It's about realizing that there's many potential futures that are available to you. But you will always experience the one that you are the most aligned with, based by how much you are at peace with what you've been through, and how much you are willing to do what is holding you back, to take action with something that you feel a deep pull that you want to do, but there's also an opposite force that is holding you back. It means that most probably something very painful related to that thing happened in the past, so you feel a deep drive to do it, but at the same time you feel deep fear related to doing it. Like when I've started making YouTube videos and going into these subjects, I had such a deep passion around these subjects, but at the same time I had such a deep fear related to sharing it, like what may happen, how people will judge me, and so on and so on. And actually by doing it, I've realized, well, I don't live in a time anymore where I would be killed for this or punished for this. We live in a time of awakening. It's actually very rewarding to do what we are passionate about. So, what are 4 steps to access the Akashic records and receive clarity and insights, or whatever it will be for you? The first is enter the theta state. The Akashic field is easiest to access when the mind is quiet but awake. It's almost like you would lay in bed with an intention that you will fall into sleep, but just at the time when you would fall into sleep, you stay awake. So your body falls into sleep, but you're aware, and you would stay aware of dreaming, and you would consciously do whatever you want to do in a dream state. This is almost like how theta state feels like, but it's not so hard to achieve it if you are in the right state. Often if we lay down in bed, we will fall into sleep, but if we do it in a sitting position with the right process, we will stay awake. And there are 4 steps you enter a theta state. The first one is that you close your eyes, and I would suggest to do it in a sitting position. If you lay down somewhere else, not in your bed, somewhere where you would usually not fall into sleep, maybe on the ground, maybe just somewhere else, not in your bed. Then, as I said, close your eyes. Then the next step is slow down and deepen your breathing. It may be to inhale for 4 seconds and exhale for 6 seconds. And just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Until your body will calm down so much that you will not need to track your breathing anymore. Your body will just naturally start breathing slowly and deeply, and then stop controlling it, let breathing happen by itself. Now the third step is allow your awareness to soften until you feel like you're dropping inward. That will shift you into the theta brainwave state. The same state accessed during deep meditation, hypnosis, or just before sleep. And then the fourth step is to set an intention, a respectful intention when you are in this state. So the records open through permission and clarity, which means we can't enter into it chaotically. There's a protective mechanism in consciousness which says, I will not give you what you're not ready to receive. That's a law in consciousness, because if you would receive too much, it would cause too much of confusion. So the amount of clarity you hold in your mind is also a signal of how much you're ready to receive of the mystical. It's not so mystical when we understand the mechanism, but just so to say it. Examples of intentions may be, I open myself to the highest truth of my soul's growth. Or I ask to receive only what benefits my path. Or I connect with Akashic field for clarity and alignment. Intention acts like a key. You're not forcing anything, you're attuning to it. So you truly need to feel these words, and sometimes it takes practice to become good at it, to become clear on the intention, to feel it emotionally. As in the Bible it says, knock and the door will be opened. That's what it truly means. Knocking means having clear intention, knowing exactly what we want and being clear about it, being in tune with it mentally and emotionally. And now we enter the field through visualization. After the intention, after we've calmed ourselves down into a theta state, there's a way that we envision the field. So to some, it just happens naturally. Others need to use some of imagination. If you're familiar with the work of Rudolf Steiner, he often said imagination is a form of memory. With our visualization, we activate certain parts, or let's say memories in the field. And if we know what exactly to visualize, we call up memories. This is a very deep work. In mystical teachings, our imagination is more important than our physical reality, because with imagination we are controlling the reality. So, how to visualize the field? Well, you can visualize it like a library, something that's the most symbolic and easy to understand for you. The way that I often did it was that I've seen myself being almost like in a library, in a huge, almost like it looked like infinite library, very beautiful. There were wooden shelves of books. And then when I asked for guidance, there was one book that just started standing out. It had light around it, and I walked towards it and I picked it up, and there was my name on the book, and I opened it, and there was one page that started standing out, and on that page, more I focused on it, more I've started just seeing certain memories. That's how I see it. But everyone will most probably experience it in their own way. So yeah, you can visualize it as a glowing hall of books, or a vast crystalline library, or a field of golden light where there are just strings of information, and just ask which one is for you at this point of your evolution. Or there may be a spiral staircase rising into the ether, into the infinity. The form does not matter. The feeling is what truly matters here, because through a feeling state, you show to the field that you are stable enough to receive knowledge. And then you get to the next part of accessing information, which is asking a question to receive. So when you already have maybe a book or some kind of a vision, now you can ask. So clarity of a question determines clarity of an answer. You need to be very clear on what you want. So maybe you're asking, what is the root of this pattern in my life? Or what gift am I meant to develop? And you may see a picture of you being an artist, or whatever it is. Or maybe what lesson is unfolding in this situation? Or what is the highest potential timeline available to me? These are very great questions, because they will activate a memory. You see, questions are so powerful, even for channeling. If you have a good question, a whole stream of thoughts will come to you if you're open. And then be perceptive what finds you as an answer. Don't hold expectations, because they may come in images, they may come in words, they may come in memories, they may come in sensations, they may come in sudden clarity, or a shift in emotion, or just an inner knowing. Depends on what's the most safe and understandable to you. So memorize what happens and then analyze it a little bit. What would it mean to you? Because more you become better at decoding the symbols of these images, words, memories, whatever it is, more it will start opening to you. It's a very subtle world. So if we are addicted to impulses of this third dimensional reality, it will be very hard to access this world. if we are addicted to, to dopamine and coffee and these strong stimulations, then it will be hard for us to even recognize more subtle nature of reality. We need to kind of get used to this subtle nature of images that happen in our minds, and then it becomes more clear to us. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink coffee or you shouldn't use your phone and social media. I'm just saying it will not be so intense as it is here in this third dimension. But as we get better with these more subtle messages and images and information, then we will also be more aware here, and we'll start to see the reality almost as a symbolic computer game, because everything truly is symbolic. Everything reflects back to us our present frequency that is deeply influenced by our past, and therefore our past is our greatest teacher. And what we get at peace with, when we start loving what hurt us, we find a way to truly become at peace with it, and then we overcome the pattern that was causing us to stay in some kind of chaotic situation. It requires a lot of bravery and courage and open-heartedness, so whatever practice helps us to heal our hearts is very needed. So now you've learned, the Akashic records don't open because you're special. They open because you're willing and because you're ready. You're stepping into a space your soul has already walked 1,000 times. The only difference is that now you're remembering the way back. And it's the nature of this time that more and more people are ready for these things. So I hope you found a great clarity today. I hope you found a great maybe guidance, or just some interesting new information that will activate you a little bit more. I hope you've also enjoyed in today's painting. My name is Gasper and I'm an artist behind this channel. So I paint paintings I see in my mind's eye. Once again, those are very subtle images that then I bring them onto a canvas in front of me. So to me it's a very fun and purposeful job to do, and I love doing that. And I'm happy that I can bring this to you. So in all of my videos I share my art like how you've watched this today. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and to anyone that would like to get a print of my work, you can go into AttractPassion.com and you will find all of my paintings there. See which one resonates with you, because if it does, it has something to give you. And also you can join our Patreon community for more exclusive content, and YouTube membership if you would love to support this channel. Thank you so much, and till next time, one love.